Hey everyone, welcome back to a little Jays talk. Today we're just going to quickly go over the Toronto Blue Jays versus St. Louis Cardinals, and then that spring breakout game between the top prospects of the Blue Jays versus the Twins. This was a travel day for the Blue Jays, so not all the big guns went, but Will Wagner, Ernie Clement, Addison Barger, Davis Schneider, Lo Profito, all those guys still went, guys vying for that last kind of bench spot or two. So it's not a completely meaningless game, but it's not anything that you're gonna see come opening day, basically. And with that said, not a lot really happened. Nothing that stood out for me. Wagner went 0 for 3. Clement went 2 for 3. So obviously Ernie Clement's continuing to keep it hot. Addison Barger 1 for 3 with a strikeout. Yeah, Davis Schneider had a bit of a slow game, but I'm not reading too much into this. Really, Palant looked pretty nice for the Cardinals. He ran into some trouble and pitched his way out of it. He's got an unorthodox delivery. It was kind of an interesting guy to watch pitch. Bowden Francis went for the Blue Jays, and he let up 7 hits in 3 2/3. He got pulled from the first inning just due to that kind of load management, where I think he was at 26 pitches last I saw. So they kind of pulled him out and then brought him back in for the second. So yeah, he didn't look great, but he did get 5 strikeouts in 3 2/3. So the stuff was still there. He got some pretty funny looking swings on his splitter. I'm not too concerned about his 10.8 ERA in spring because I don't know for sure what he's working on or what the coaches are getting him to do and things like that. He hasn't looked awesome, but that could straighten out, come the regular season. So I won't get too worried until I start to see that sort of thing leak over into the games that matter. Bullpen wise, Paxton Schultz came in and finished off the first inning for him. Little came in and, did all right, got lit up a little bit. Gowdy didn't look awesome. Estrada didn't look awesome, but it is what it is. At this point, these Little will be on the team. Gowdy and Estrada won't. Schultz won't. Francis will. They're not nothing really of consequence there. We'll see how it goes at the during regular season at this point in time. Now, the more interesting one to me was the prospect game. And this is largely why I don't really care, and I kind of push back when people say, oh, the Blue Jays are ranked 27th with their farm system now, and things like that. None of that really matters to me, and it's always been a little bit suspicious to me that we all know and acknowledge that baseball is the hardest game ever to predict because you're oftentimes drafting, 18, 19, 20-year-olds who aren't going to make the show until they're, in a lot of cases, 24, 25, if at all. You look back through even number 1 overall picks, let alone first round picks, let alone, top 5 round picks. And they just don't even make the majors that often. So it's always been a little strange to me that so many of these lists end up with the exact same or very, very similar top 100 prospects. And it's kind of like as soon as a player gets mentioned on one list, all eyes go to that guy and they kind of want to force him onto their list and they might move him up a little bit and they might move him down a little bit. That's my thought on it. And I think we're all probably guilty of that. You hear even this year like an Alan Roden name get thrown around a bit and then all of a sudden everyone's looking for him. And obviously, he's done exceptionally well. But even if he hadn't done exceptionally well, I feel like we would have been kind of, predisposed to want to see it in him because as soon as he gets mentioned on a couple lists, you're looking for it. Sorry, that was just a quick rant. But the point being was the Blue Jays prospects are ranked terribly. The Twins have a very good farm system. And one game means nothing. But the Blue Jays went out there and stomped them 10-0. And we were running pitcher after pitcher after pitcher. And I'm upset I didn't get to watch this game live. But, Jake Bloss goes out, hits 98 miles an hour, looks fantastic, strikes out 4. Trey Savage comes in, pitches 2 innings, has the jitters in his first inning, and then I believe he struck out the side in his second inning, and he's thrown same thing, like 96 with a changeup, a splitter. I don't think he threw the splitter. If he did, it didn't show up on the pitch tracking. But I'm not sure if they confused either his cutter, as weird as it sounds, because I did see a couple videos of his cutter that looked an awful lot like a splitter from the camera angle, or his changeup. So maybe that splitter is getting miscategorized. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, it looked like he was throwing fastball, cutter, slider, changeup. And just from the highlights, he throws hard. He was commanding well in the second inning, and he looked dominant. Cal Steven comes in, same type of thing. 2 innings pitched, doesn't really get touched. Kendry Rojas, we're all familiar with that name by now. He's one of our top pitching prospects, the lefty. He's got a nice fastball, a nice slider. He wasn't touched. He didn't get any strikeouts, but he also wasn't hurt. And then Mason Fluharty comes in. So, and then on the hitting side of things, Namala is hitting everything. I think he had 2 hits, and they were over 100-mile-an-hour exit velocities on both. I think he just turned 19, if he is 19. Alan Roden, as I spoke about, was unreal all spring training so far. Carried that on, went 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs. His was an opposite field liner to the wall, I believe, and they said it was like 100-mile-an-hour exit velocity or 98.9 or something like that exit velocity, opposite field. Orelvis, we're all familiar with. So yeah, when you start talking about the Blue Jays farm system, one list has Jake Bloss as our top prospect. The next one has Arjun Namala, top prospect. Another one will have, Trey Savage will be the number 2 prospect on 2 of them, and then number 4 on another. Ricky Tiedemann isn't even playing, but he's, can throw 100 miles an hour from the left side. Or Elvis Martinez. Point being, I don't really care what they label our farm system. Sure, it's not the top in baseball. It doesn't rival what the Orioles have had the last couple of years or anything like that. But there's so many names there where you're looking at them, and I find it hard to believe that they're that much worse. And if there truly are 26 other teams that can run out like a Bloss, Savage, Steven, Rojas, okay, fair play. I don't believe that's the case, but sure, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Anyways, all I really care about is that our team is pumping out exciting names, and there's guys to kind of hope for and dream on for the future. And right now I feel like we might not have a like a surefire, a Paul Skeens type of prospect in there where it's pretty much a can't miss. But we've got a lot of really nice looking players right now, and they're nicely scattered from, the 18-year-olds all the way up to about the 25-year-old range. So they should be staggered. We should see Roden this year. We should see Bloss either this year or next year. Savage probably next year or the year after. Ricky Tiedemann when he comes back. So they should be nicely kind of staggered over the next, say, 3 seasons with a lot of them. So that's really nice to see. We didn't get to see, what's his name there, King either. Another young kid that we just drafted, I believe it was last year. So he's got a lot of upside as well, and he's a guy to be excited about. So, yeah, that was more just a rant on, a supposed awful farm system goes out and mops the floor with a high-ranked farm system, and you're watching. Obviously, I didn't get to watch the game, but you're seeing Namala 100-mile-an-hour exit velocities left, right, and center. Roden doing the same thing. Orelvis Martinez we all know about. And then the pitching looks fairly stacked. So I believe these prospect rankings are probably a little bit overblown, and the whole Blue Jays farm system is terrible is overblown. Like I say, we're not top in baseball, but I'm also not concerned at all because there are plenty of names that I find exciting here. So yeah, the future doesn't feel as bleak when you get to start seeing some live game action, and I have a feeling come a couple months into the season, once we've started to graduate a couple of these guys up to the majors and seen what they can do, I think we'll feel a lot better about the farm system as a whole once some of these guys start to log some innings in the organization, like a Savage, like a Bloss, like you get Ricky Tiedemann back towards the end of the year. And I really think that there will be a much more positive spin on the Blue Jays farm system as a whole come, like I say, a couple months into the year or by the trade deadline, and definitely by the end of the year. So let me know what you guys think. Did any of you get to watch this game? Were you following along online? How were you viewing it? And what are your thoughts on it? Any feedback is welcome. I'll talk to you guys later. All right? Bye-bye.